Hello everybody and welcome to What About the Game. Today I'm going to be talking about Kung Fu Fight on the Wii U eShop. This is a game that has a connection to my last two reviews. Firstly, it's made by the same people that made Ascent of Kings, and it's also an endless runner like Ocean Runner. Now I was pretty positive about Ocean Runner, and I think I'm almost as satisfied with this one too. It also has a story mode where, contrary to the actual genre, it does have an end. You are a young boy in China or Japan, the game's not even sure, but your sister has been kidnapped by a warlord and it's your duty to run after him and rescue her. It's as deep as it needs to be, but at least it's there to give you a goal to work towards. Along the way you'll come across quite a large variety of enemies. Some of them do look a little similar, but they all have different characteristics. At first you'll start off with the normal boring plain enemies that just stand in your way, but as you go through the game further and further, the enemies will become different and more difficult to avoid. Like, you'll have ninjas throwing shurikens, you'll have sumos diving at you, old men throwing sake. It's a really nice variety for such a small game, but then that's what Nestatic do really. To make your way through the enemies, you can either use an attack, or you can be more of a pacifist and either jump over them or slide under them. Personally, I found the attack to be more useful. I felt jumping needed to be more timed, more perfectly than the attack, so overall it was less reliable for me. As you can see, the game has the same kind of style that all of Nestatic games have, sort of like Atari 2600 HD. Of course it's very simple, and I understand that many people are really tired of this like nostalgic retro visuals, but I think it works fine for a game like this. I like that the characters are nice and big. It's enough to show you visual cues given by the enemies to indicate their behavior. You can see what they're going to do. The simple graphics don't restrict anything in the gameplay. In fact, I think it probably works in its favor. If it had more intensive graphics, then I think it would get judged more harshly on its gameplay. I think the environments are pretty decent. You're never in one place too long, so you never get too bored. But one issue I had with the game is with the music. I really didn't appreciate that too much. Really very repetitive, and I think more could have been done in that department. Anyway, I found the normal difficulty to be of quite an adequate challenge. It was difficult, but not frustrating. The later two difficulties seemed to be more of a chore. A lot of it seemed to be based on luck rather than skill, because enemies would get placed far too close to each other and trying to dodge both of their attacks would just be impossible. But luckily the game has checkpoints and you soon respawn close enough to where you failed, and enemies are placed in different positions this time. The story doesn't last long at all. I'd say about 20 minutes on the normal one. Probably longer on the higher settings because, I kept failing a lot. The problem is once you've completed it, there's not too much incentive to keep going back. There is an endless mode called Endless Fortress, and you have one life. But that's not particularly interesting for me or fun. There are some achievements which you can get, and I think those are pretty fun, at least some of them. I did go back and play a game just so I could try to get some of them, like jumping over 10 consecutive shurikens or being a pacifist and not attacking 20 enemies in a row. I'd say I got over an hour's worth of enjoyment out of Kung Fu Fight. It's a bite-sized game with a very bite-sized price as well. You get what you pay for, and it's fine for what it is. It actually has some nice personality as well, like in the writing. It's just a shame that we don't really get to see a lot of it. Hopefully I'll get to play a longer, deeper game of Nestatics in the future, because they do know how to make a game. They know how to make it work. They just don't make them very big. Okay guys, if you've enjoyed this video, then like and subscribe. It will really help me out a lot. Make sure you read the full in-depth review of Kung Fu Fight at whataboutthegame.com, and keep up to date by following me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are below. Thanks guys. Bye bye.